Greetings everyone, this is Mr. Garrett bringing you another Command & Conquer Red Alert video. So today I'm having a small podcast with ZacktheReaper. We're going to talk about different things. In the background I will be making a map, and the main topic will of course be the potential of a 2 versus 2 tournament. So let's just jump into this video and see how this podcast goes. So this is me making a map, Zack, and this will be a 2 versus 2 map, which I'm hoping will be have some potential for the upcoming tournament. And I will go straight in and ask the biggest question of them all. Who is Zack?
Yeah, that's a good question. In terms of gaming, I didn't game. I used to game when I was very young. That was when I was in school, from when I was about 6. And then when I got to about 18, 19, I pretty much stopped. I'd go months without touching a game. It was something I'd enjoy like every now and then, but it wasn't something I did very much. And then when COVID came, I started playing games again because obviously there wasn't as much to do. We were locked inside. There was a lockdown in the UK, and then I saw Red Alert come up, and I actually had a YouTube channel at that time, so I'd done it for just as something fun to do. So I started doing Red Alert videos, and then I just started getting an audience, and I guess having the YouTube channel and the game made it a lot more interesting for me, and that sort of got me back into gaming, I guess. So it's become quite a big part of my life, because obviously it does take quite a lot of time to do all the videos.
Yeah, for sure.
It's quite time consuming. And playing the game itself as well, that takes up quite a bit of time. So I guess that's probably the best way to describe it. And I guess with Red Alert, it's probably the best. I was never great at games when I was younger. But I guess with Red Alert, I did play a lot more because in lockdown, obviously there wasn't much else to do.
No.
So I ended up playing an absolute huge amount of time. I think I've got about 2,000. I've got over 2,000 hours on Red Alert.
But did you work as well, home office at the same time?
Yes. So what I did the job I had when I was in lockdown was I was a tutor for A-level and GCSE pupils. For people who aren't in the UK, that's the exams people do when they're 16 and 18.
Oh, cool.
Now, what happened during lockdown is they actually cancelled the exams. So I had a lot of the people I was tutoring, didn't need tuition anymore. So I had so my workload reduced quite a bit during that time. So I had a lot more free time.
But how did that impact your payments then?
So in the UK, what we had is I was self-employed as a tutor. So we had a scheme in the UK where the government paid us 80% of our earnings. So yeah, it didn't actually impact me badly at all.
So this was actually a perfect fit for you then, because then you can start uploading videos and play the game and still get paid. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I was quite lucky in that respect. I know the countries may not have been as generous.
Now, for my part, during COVID, it was a lockdown as well. I think it was around 14th of March. I think they shut down here. It was very fast. I was actually home when they shut down, but the people that work on the oil rig, they had okay, you have a half an hour and you have to pack your bag and you have to travel. You're going straight to land. And then it's only those critical personnel that has to stay. The thing for me, I am a part of the critical crew. So when my turn was up for traveling to work, I had to travel to work as normally. Meanwhile, we had a couple of guys from, for example, Denmark or Sweden, and they were shut down. They couldn't go for work for at least a year. Some of them, after some time, managed to travel up, but they have a long quarantine. It was basically a waste of time. They traveled up to Norway. They had to stay in a hotel for a week, and then they traveled to work. And when they were finished with work, they came at land, and they have to stay a week again. I can't remember if they have to stay 1 week in Norway or the 1 week in Sweden or something. it was just a waste of time for them. It was horrible. But for me, I work like normally. It didn't impact me so much. It's few people at work actually, so it was. And also my other part also has a high security job at that time, so she was also working. So it didn't impact us in any way economically. So that was good. But for many others, it did. It was a strange time. Have you ever joined and played in a tournament of Red Alert?
I haven't actually. I would have probably joined the last one that was a couple of years ago, I think now, but I just found out about it too late.
Yeah.
So it was already starting. Yeah, it's quite surprising actually that I haven't been in one yet.
Yeah, I think many people would definitely like to have join a tournament and follow you all the way. What made you choose Red Alert over all the games? There must be other games that had some potential for you.
So actually my YouTube channel, when I initially started, it was actually on Cossacks 3. And that was a game. That was another actually game that was remade. It was Cossacks 3 was actually a remake of the first Cossacks, and that's
what type of a game is that?
So it's a real-time strategy game, but it's more muskets and stuff. So there's just like obviously no tanks or anything like that. It's sort of like old-fashioned Napoleonic wars, probably.
Oh, cool.
And that sort of thing. So yeah, you've got it's quite it's not like Age of Empires. But it's sort of around that, probably a bit later than that.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, in between the two. But that was I used to do those, but when I did those videos, I didn't do any voice recording, so they weren't dubbed. It was just gameplay.
Yeah.
I did do a couple of videos where I did dub over the time, but that was of just new games where I did some like tips videos, which they actually got quite a lot of views, but they were just like one-offs.
This must be some time ago.
Yeah, it was 2019, before COVID.
Yeah.
So that was the first videos I did on the channel, and I think I did a video on Tropica 6. Which got 60,000 views.
Is that that sounds like a shooting game?
Tropica 6. It's a city building game. Well, yeah, city builder. I would think.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about. Yeah, I know what game I was thinking about, but yeah, okay, yeah, I understand.
Cool. And funnily enough, another video I did was Team Sonic Racing.
Yeah, I've actually seen one of those videos there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was about 15,000 views. So, but it was because I did. What you can do is you can do videos of new games, and that'll get you'll get a lot of views on them, but it doesn't sort of build an audience.
No, and it's also a little bit risky. We have been talking about this earlier as well. Trying to mix up with different games in your genre that could hurt your channel quite a lot.
Yeah, I didn't really have an audience and didn't really have a channel, so it was just doing what I wanted. But then when I started doing I remember when I first did Red Alert videos, I did post some on Stronghold Warlords, which was another RTS that came out. Near the time I started doing Red Alert videos, and people started going to my channel and telling me to do more Red Alert videos, so I just kept on doing them. And then it became, because I got an audience for Red Alert videos, I just kept on doing Red Alert Remastered videos.
Yeah, and you're doing quite well with that as well. You're like pretty well known. I am trying to checking out different channels as well, but I do know on the German side there is some creators there. I'm not sure if they are mixing with other games as well. I do think they are mixing with more Red Alert games. They have a big follower base as well.
Yeah, I've noticed I think there's a German group that do retro games. I think they do quite a few. They do Red Alert Remastered, and I think they do a few more.
Yeah.
It seems to be like sort of like tournament based as well.
Yeah, and that's actually I've seen it as well. Those tournaments. I was actually checking it out on. I wonder if it was on Twitch. I was actually just checking out one of those Germans there sitting and talking. Of course, they're doing everything in German, so it's a little bit more tricky. But I will look at it. It looks interesting, but they have different rules and stuff like this. So it's a totally new world.
Yeah, I know Matias I think he's done videos with them,
Oh, cool.
like where he's, or played in some of the games.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah, we will just continue jumping on a little bit here. Let's see if I can get through. So you have been doing this now for a quite long time, and there's probably many people who is wondering how long you will be doing this, like, or will you start moving on to different games, because this has a pretty limited viewer base. I don't think this will be like in the future you will have 25,000 watching Red Alert. It's more likely it will go the other way because of, yeah, this is now 5 years old. Perhaps there will come in some new games that will be more interested. Have you any thoughts about that and what your future will bring?
so like I've always known that Red Alert would never be like, you'd never make like a lot of money from it, because it does have a limited viewer base.
Yeah.
To be honest, I only ever did the YouTube channel for fun.
Yeah.
I mean, my initial goal was actually to get 10 subscribers.
You crushed that one.
Yeah, yeah, it was to get 10 subscribers, and the other thing was I wasn't going to tell anyone I was doing YouTube. I've only ever told one person in my, well, people know I do YouTube, but there's only one person in real life who actually knows what my YouTube channel is, or the name of the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, I don't know if anyone could find it by accident, but I don't have any friends that, well, I don't have any friends in real life who play Red Alert Remastered.
No, I don't actually think I have that either, actually. But when I was at work now, the last time, I was just telling a couple of people about it, or we were sitting and talking about it, and there's some other people, oh, you're playing this game? Oh, yeah, that's cool. And it's like more and more people, oh, yeah, I play this one. You have to play the Red Alert 2, that's the best one. And it's like, okay, well, so there is actually quite many of the people like at work that was playing this game. And some of them are still like playing it from time to time. Perhaps not the remaster version, but they do play the other Red Alert games.
To answer your question, though, my channel's always been Red Alert's what made my channel. I probably got more subscribers than I ever thought I would in the game. So it will be, I will be doing Red Alert Remastered videos for the foreseeable future, probably. I may delve into other games a little bit, possibly. I sort of did that with a Red Alert 2, but I sort of haven't done too many videos recently on that. I just don't enjoy it. The problem with Red Alert 2 is I just don't enjoy it as much.
There is something with Red Alert 1. It is simple, fun, and still a big challenge.
I think that's the most important thing when if I do YouTube for fun, not to make money. And as soon I have a job, and as soon as it becomes like a job, I think that's when, I can't be doing with that.
No, it is, as you said, it has to be a hobby, it has to be fun. It's not for the money, it's just for actually doing something outside, just have something to do. Like if you had a different hobby, you will be doing that. And this is a perfect hobby, really. And there's a lot of people who follow you and really enjoy your videos, so that is something that you're doing correct. And while we are in that topic there, has there ever been any negative feedback that have made you question your Red Alert choice?
Not really, no. You do have negative comments sometimes, but there's a saying that if you that 5% of people will be unreasonable and they'll be unhappy with whatever you do. So you're always going to get like people who dislike the videos, or sometimes you get comments which aren't great. But I just view it like, it's always going to happen if you get to a certain size. You're always going to, and a lot of people watch you're always going to get that 5% that, aren't going to be happy.
Yeah, you have them everywhere. It doesn't matter what game it is. Some are there just to give you negative things about different things. You probably never see them say anything positive, some of them. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Just, it's... When I get comments on videos, I obviously look at them and obviously read them and consider them. But sometimes you just have to use your own common sense as well when you're looking at them.
Yeah, because it's very time consuming what you're doing, because you have to play many games and you have to pick out of many games if you actually got a good game. And when you finally post it, it's a lot of work with the posting itself, and then you have to follow up with all the feedback as well. And
Yeah, you also get like conflicting feedback as well sometimes. Like sometimes when I do in team games, especially, sometimes I give it from the other player's viewpoint, where I go to a replay. Part of the game. A lot of people have said they like that. Some people have said they don't like it, but I think sometimes you just have to do a variety of things. And that's one of the big things I try and do with my channel. I do a mix of team games, and free-for-alls and some 1v1s. I also try and vary the maps quite a bit and include some hybrid maps and some of the special maps as well, like all the glitters that play and the Hills of Eyes that play completely differently now and again.
Yeah, you're doing great there. You're actually mixing up quite much. I'm trying to follow your suit there and mixing up as much as I can as well. So I do have a little bit mixed up as you're doing, but you are far ahead there. You have a much bigger pool of matches that you can be picking out from. And you have also been playing this game now for, let's say, 5 years. This will be the 6th year it's out.
Yep, so yeah, I've played it since release.
Yeah, I started playing this one in late autumn, I think. I haven't seen you play too much quick matches this season.
No, I haven't actually. Partly. One of the things I like about Red Alert, or like in gaming in general, is I like to do a variety of different things.
Yeah.
So I will do sometimes I do quick matches, and I'll do quite a lot of them for a week.
Do you think the community would like if you went all in one season on a quick match to see how high you can actually get?
I mean, it would be interesting to do, as long as I wasn't posting every single video on that, of course.
Of course. You just post a couple of them, but just to see how high you can actually get up.
Yeah, I mean, I have actually intended to do that some seasons, but I think one of the important things is not getting burnt out.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big danger for me if I get too focused on quick match and just doing that over and over again. When it'll probably get to the point where I'm not really wanting to play it.
No, I understand. I've been there myself a couple of times, and that's the part I'm actually very scared of as well, because Red Alert wasn't a game I necessarily was coming back to play again.
Yeah.
And all the other games I've been playing, I play them and I love playing them for a certain time. I travel to work, I come back after 2 weeks, and then it's like, I'm not sure I want to play now. And that's the biggest worry here for me as well. When will I get that with this game? But I hope I will not, because now I have now this will be, as you say, as a hobby. It's a little bit different now. Last time I was at work, I was just waiting to get home just to start doing videos. So
yeah, I just enjoy logging on and just going on a variety of maps and doing different game modes as well, free-for-alls, team games, that sort of thing. And I think it's the most important thing is I just keep it fun and I do what I enjoy.
Yeah, I totally agree, and that's what I'm trying to be doing now. I'm trying to play a couple of games that is a lot of different maps that I haven't seen anyone else are testing out. So, and they have been quite successful. Many of the maps I've actually been playing, so it's been a lot of fun. The map I'm showing here, I was actually looking at it as well, because you could make it a 3 versus 3 as well. It is possible, if I fixed a little bit on the map in the middle there, I could make a third spot.
Yeah, I think one of the nice things about this map actually is you're also going to the teams are sort of going to come together.
Yeah.
So it's not like people just fighting. Like sometimes you get maps where it's just 2 players fighting 1v1s. If that makes sense.
That makes totally sense. That many of the maps I've been trying out, this often ends up in 1 versus 1.
Yeah, and then it's just whoever wins their 1v1 first.
Yeah.
That ends up winning the game.
That is actually true. That's why it's a little bit hard and tricky to find those 2 versus 2 maps that actually fits. Yeah, so this was one map I spent a lot of time on actually, and trying to do as you said. I don't want it to be 1 versus 1. I wanted it to be 2 versus 2, with the option of other stuff as well. I tried it out a couple of times because when you're making a map, you can always try it out, and when you first publish it, then you can then it's open for other people as well. And in the end, we will see if we can try it out. There's many people from UK playing this game. Is it many of those players you actually have met up in real life?
There's two I've met. There's one. There's Deadeye Darren, who I've met a couple of times. He's from North Devon, so he's a long way from me, 6.5 hours drive.
Oh, that's far.
Yeah, he invited me to come over to where he lived, and I decided to just go. I'd never been to North Devon before. I'd never drove that far by myself before. I just decided to do it because why not? I've also met Teve. But he's like he's local to me. So well, pretty local. Would be about 40 minutes drive.
Yeah.
But we actually met up quite close to where I live because his job involves going to like different places, so he was doing a job near where I was, so we decided just to meet up and have a couple of drinks.
That's cool. And yeah, but when it comes to Red Alert, have you ever tested out? Is it Red Alert Open Raw? I think it's called.
Yes, I did. Just for one night.
Yeah.
I just realised that it wasn't anything like Red Alert Remastered.
No, it's totally different. I
just tried to do it against the AI first, and I just was doing the normal tactics, build five tanks, take them into the base.
Oh, that doesn't work, does it?
And I got wrecked by the infantry.
Yeah.
So I realised then that it was completely different. I'd played a couple of some games online with other players, but I wasn't really that interested in like learning Red Alert again for Red Alert online.
I mean, it had potential, but it's missing something. It also seems a little bit slow compared to.
Yeah, the graphics are also.
The graphics are something in between Red Alert, the original, and remaster. Somewhere it is just like a small upgrade of the original, but not as upgraded as the remaster version. But it has a lot. It did have a lot of potential though, but I just felt it's not there yet.
I think for the purpose of making videos, I think the Red Alert Remastered, it just has a cleaner look.
Yeah.
And there are actually some people who watch my videos who don't actually play Red Alert Remastered, funnily enough. Which is straight.
But does that mean they don't play Red Alert at all, or do they only play the original, or?
I think they played it. They probably played it in the past, and it's like pastime.
Yeah.
They might have played. Yeah, they might have played Remastered when it first came out. I know there's some people who said they don't actually play the game, but I think it's because it's visually appeasing.
Yeah.
And that's probably a big part of why the people like it. Enjoying it,
and it's very easy to learn also from the outside. It's not so many units. It's very simple gameplay.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, with some games, if you look at like Age of Empires, for example, you're having to control 5 resources. Every civilization has different powers, so it's like completely different each one you play.
That's what I mean with the Red Alert. It's very, very simple, very easy to learn, very easy to play. Hard to be good. I really enjoyed the game, and I was one of those that wasn't playing the game. I was just watching YouTube videos, and suddenly you came up there, and I was just watching you for. I'm pretty sure I watched you for half a year, perhaps even a year as well, just on and off. Didn't watch all the matches, but then I started to watch more and more videos, and then finally I decided to start playing again. But I didn't play multiplayer. I just played. Campaigns. I started with, and I was actually thinking about playing through all the games though. I played through a couple of them, the remastered versions at least. That was pretty fun. Playing a little bit Command and Conquer, that was actually surprisingly hard. Actually, I've never played Command and Conquer before, but that was very hard compared to Red Alert. I don't know how much you played.
I played the original. Well, Command and Conquer. I can't remember exactly. I used to play it on the PlayStation 1, but I think Command & Conquer was possibly the first ever RTS I actually played ever. I was in primary school as well.
I didn't play it in the young days. This is the first time I actually played it. So I tried it now. I thought this will be easy because I just played through Red Alert, and it's like, no, this is nothing like Red Alert. It is similar, but it's so much harder. Or I felt like it's so much harder anyway. Have you ever heard the voice of Matias?
Nope, I haven't. Never.
Do you think he will ever come on Twitch or making YouTube videos with his voice?
I don't. I'm not. Yeah, I don't. I don't think we will hear him. I know
No.
he did. I know he was thinking about putting his voice on one video because he sort of. I don't know. On one of his videos, he had like I think it was 2 games, but in the second game, you could hear breathing.
Oh.
And what I think he'd done is, I think what he said in the comments is he'd taken out the parts where he'd spoke,
Okay.
but you could hear his breathing in the other parts, so it was kind of weird.
That's cool. The thing is, if he keeps up doing this, it's a gimmick. Um, I know that you haven't played Rust, but in the game Rust is a quite big game. There's a lot of big YouTubers there, and one of the YouTuber inside this Rust game is called Alone in Tokyo.
Yeah,
And he is a quiet one. He has never spoken a single word, but he has over 544,000 subs and is very well known in the Rust community. One of the
yeah,
biggest one in the Rust has 1.8. That is William. But like that's if Matias keep on doing this, being quiet, it's a very good gimmick, and I think it's something that probably will suit him for a long time. If he chooses to use his voice, I think his channel could easily explode. But I mean,
yeah.
for now, it's a pretty good gimmick, and he can be holding on for that for a long time.
I mean, he has done well with his channel. It's obviously gaining subscribers. I think he's very good at marketing. If
Yeah,
you look at like the branding of his channel,
yeah,
I think he does that very well.
yeah. He's doing it. Like the channel itself is pretty good.
I mean, everyone has their own style of, and I think the important thing is if you're looking at doing a YouTube channel, it needs to be your own style.
That's why it's a little bit hard for me because there is already people out there. So if I could choose to be quiet, then I'll be doing like Matias, but that will never work. I could choose to do uh, um, tutorials, but I think there is a lot of tutorials out there as well. It's really hard to get in, so I basically just have to do. I'm doing mostly the same as you and as Ginger Commander, but I'm doing a
Yeah, I
mixed.
mean it's quite hard. I mean with like Red Alert Remastered because there's only so many things you can do.
Yeah, and also
But
I'm not like for you. When you make videos, you are also a pretty decent player, so you can do a lot of different things in your videos compared to me. If I try to do those videos, it will take me. If it takes you perhaps 3 or 4 videos or tries to make that video, I will have to perhaps do 10 or 15 times if I to try to achieve the same, because I'm just not as good, not so fast at doing stuff as well. So it's a little bit harder for me to be a little bit more creative in the playstyle if itself. It's
yeah, I guess the troll games are sometimes quite difficult. I guess they're probably require a bit more skill. Because I'm doing something that's like off meta, there's no like guide that's going to tell you how to do troll games.
yeah,
That's just sort of like made up.
but like I can't make a troll game and write a troll game. I have to try something different then, because
Oh yeah,
that's like your gimmick. So it's I need to try out different things. I don't think there is so much. I don't think there's so much else I can do with the channel itself. I just have to keep on doing what I'm doing and just try to do it better, if you know what I mean. It's like,
I get what you mean.
how about you? Have you ever shown your face on Twitch? Is that something you will do, or?
Not really. I haven't. No. Well, I've never shown my face. It's not that I'm. I guess people have seen me in real life.
Yeah.
Matias has actually seen my face as well. He actually has a picture because Steve took one. But I mean, it's just I don't really see it as part of the channel. Really, it's just
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary to have it, but I guess in some cases people connect better with a face. So it's a tricky thing. If I'm going to show my face or not, I'm not sure. I do believe that if I start with Twitch, perhaps could be a positive. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, some people might make more of a personal connection with a face prop, possibly.
yeah,
I think that definitely happens with voice as well, though.
yeah, that's also true.
Because I think, yeah, when you're talking, people sort of feel like they probably know you a little bit,
Yeah.
even though they've never met.
Well, my plan here is I'm going to work now, so I'm going to work for 3 weeks. That actually gives me a lot of time to do research because I am in that position that I can be sitting with the computer 24/7 there. So I will be multitasking. I'll checking into different maps, pools, setups, how tournaments have been done before, and stuff like this. Because I think it's important not to wait too long with hosting a tournament, if you're still interested, of course.
Yeah, definitely.
So my main plan was to use those 3 weeks to perhaps prepare for the next free period, and I was actually hoping potentially host a tournament in my next free period. That will be from 3 weeks from now and to 6 weeks. That will be. So it's like a 3 weeks time. I have time to perhaps make a tournament. If not, I have to wait for the next free period. I'm not sure how you think about it, what fits with you.
My time for the next 4 months is pretty, yeah, open. I'm just like working as normal, but I've like got normal free time. I'm not away or anything like that.
No. So that means it's potential for perhaps hosting a tournament from 3 weeks and out. Potential. Definitely look into it and see if it's possible to do. Because I do believe when everything is put into motion, everything is set. When all the registrations are done and we have done all the setting with all the people, they are getting the matches set up and stuff like this. We just have to set a certain time period where they have to be finished with their matches and stuff. So let's say this tournament itself, either it's done in a week. Let's say if it starts on a Friday and ends on not the next Friday but the Sunday, so you have basically like say 10 days, where the last weekend will be the finals and semifinals, I guess, and then like in the first week or weekend, or we do all those fights in between where we have to get the replays and post out the videos though. So it'll be a lot of work, but I think most of it will go by itself until the finals though. Then we have to figure out Twitch or YouTube or both, and how we're going to do it live, because commentary is really hard. It's not as easy as it seems for many other people, but it's a challenge itself.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, you just have to look at my first videos. I think they were very different. The first ones I put on, it's just you don't know really what to say. You get to like when you first ever do a video on this, you just start playing and you think, what on earth am I supposed to say? But then when I do things now, it just sort of comes more naturally because I've been doing it for so long. So it's just part,
Yeah.
You get used to it.
So it's going to be a little bit interesting, all of these parts here. But I do think we do need to have a little bit time for the players to have their fights, because the biggest issue is, like first of all, we need to figure out if we're going to go for a pro tournament or a AB pool. I do believe an AB pool might be the most beneficial now, since it's more like a tryout. I want the first tournament to be a little bit more relaxed. They don't have to stress out, and it's easier if we have a little bit more calm first tournament, just to get into the rhythm and get some feedback on what we need to improve for the next tournament, for example. That's what I'm thinking, at least.
That'll be definitely be interesting, and there's always going to be like things you don't think about and things that maybe don't go as well as you thought. We'll also gauge how much interest there is in it.
That's the biggest question, because we have gotten a lot of positive feedback from many of the people, but we actually don't know how popular the videos itself will be. They might not be popular at all. Uh, that's the biggest worry here. But I do believe if let's say if we also join in all of the tournaments, which you most likely will, I think that interest will
Yeah.
be quite big to see your journey and my journey and see how far we actually managed to come with teamed up with someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will be most likely in the B pool. I do believe that you might end up in the A pool. I'm not actually sure because you're not in a. It depends a little bit on the rating. How are we gonna divide people for
Yeah.
A pool and B pool? Because
Well,
I
we'll just need to see who signs up and how much information we have on them,
yeah,
really.
because that's
Yeah.
also I'm thinking. Like, if you get like it's like 40 players,
Yeah.
it's easy to just look at the quick match ladder first, and then you can actually get a picture, and you can look at this season, so you can look at the last season, then the season before, and there. But it's not all players that is actually playing quick match, so it's a little bit harder to pick out those players where we're gonna put them in.
Yeah, there's definitely some players who don't play quick match at all and are still pretty decent.
Yeah,
So that will be a challenge, but we'll have to wait and see who joins up. I think in the past, the majority of players who played in tournaments do play quick match because I think those who like doing ranked tend to, well, because tournaments a bit like a ranked system, isn't it? So
yeah, I do believe also that most of those quick match players will be joining in tournament because it's
yeah, I probably
yeah.
should do a bit more quick match just so I can get a accurate yeah assessment of how what I'm like at the moment compared to others.
Putting some pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
I've been like now. I've been trying to every time I log into Red Alert, I need to warm up my fingers, and I try to warm up with 5 quick matches every day. It has been working out at least for 2 or 3 days in a row. Today I didn't do it though, but it's quite interesting. I feel like I'm getting a little bit better, but it might just be the players I'm playing against though. And 3 times in a row now, like not 2 times in a row. I think it was yesterday and today. I've been called out a cheater 2 times. It's quite
Oh
interesting.
yeah, it always happens in quick match. I think it happens a lot more at like the when you're playing against low ranked players.
Yeah, it does seems like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it quite often happens to me when I'm like when I log in halfway through the season and do my first matches, and obviously the first matches are you could play anyone because it's not really it's not done by ranking.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, you do get quite a few people who call people cheaters just if they build more tanks or anything like that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's very understandable. For sometimes when I play, it feels like someone is just, how the heck did you get so many tanks that fast? But it is, if you do everything correct, you do actually manage to produce a lot of tanks very fast. I checked it out. You can produce 5 light tanks in, I think, almost 90 seconds. I think. I'm not sure if you can do so much faster, a little bit faster perhaps, but I tried out. I managed to do it in I think around 100 seconds. I think that's what I used to build 5 light tanks.
Yeah, if you watch your replays and you try and do exactly what they do without, I mean, you do realize that actually it's achievable what they do in the
Yeah,
time frame. But it's very hard to like do everything else, like all the scouting and stuff like that, and keep up with the same pace. That's the thing,
yeah,
and just I guess it's tactical knowledge as well, what to look out for, and when things don't go as you expect,
yeah.
how you react.
One of the biggest challenge here when we go for A pool and B pool is the different time for people, because one from the A pool could be timed up with someone that has a totally different time. Let's say Australia and UK, for example. So that's an issue. But that's why we need to give them a little bit time, and we have to see when it fits, because it should be achievable anyway somehow.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I think we were looking at semi-finals, finals being fixed times, but certainly when I've looked at other tournaments, what you usually get is the games are usually played on like European afternoon time to evening.
yeah,
I think that's
yeah,
thought to accommodate United States.
yeah. Okay, yeah,
Although I think the majority of players, so when I look at if we look at the people who do play, I think the majority are Europe.
Yeah, but it is as most of the players are UK, Netherlands, and around there. I guess perhaps when it's a tournament, perhaps more German players as well. As you see here, I'm still making the map. What do you think so far? Does it look like it has any potential?
Yeah, it's looking quite good. It's got I noticed there's like some like sort of like slight bottlenecks.
Yeah.
And I think that's always important because if it's just like completely open, I think there's a lot of like just rushing.
Yeah, that's what
and I think
that was like my main goal. I'm checking many of the pre-made maps and stuff like this just to see how they're made, and there's very few that has this where you have to use both players. They are all forced into a narrow space, and there is all the fighting will be. That was my main plan. I wanted the team players to go together and kind of meet up in the middle there, so they can.
Yeah, and I like how there's that like gem or patch in the middle.
Yeah.
But there'll be like the big fight over.
And I choose to have water here with entrances because if it's going to be like a big standoff in the middle, you will have the water options here. You see you have the water options here. So
yes, you've got the little thing that dips in. So if you had an allied player, you could use potentially cruisers or something to.
And in the start, I actually didn't have the water going in the middle here, but I thought if you're going to build a navy, it'd be awesome to have the navy follow in here, and that will help the fight here in the middle. That's what was my thought. So it could be you have options here with fighting sea fights here, helping in or not. And also for those that do those chrono tactics, that's why I have this water here, because that would be something Matias would probably do. But build up a couple of cruisers here and just chrono spread them in here, and then you have
And you have the shorelines for Tanya drop-offs along the side, or engineers.
Yeah, I have shorelines, everyone here, not in those ponds here though. Shorelines there, and I also have shorelines in those small here. So I do have the shorelines. So we are now at the end of part 1. I hope you enjoyed this kind of podcast. And please leave a comment if this is something you want to have more of in the future. And from the rest of the evening here, we were actually testing out the map. We are playing against different opponents. So if you want to check that out, just tune in tomorrow. I think part 2 will be out then. Alright, see you in the next one.